Hey, this is Lola, but you can call me Lola if you like.
Hi, this is Velisa, and you can call me Vels if you want. And this is the Everybody Hates HR podcast, episode 55.
Whoop, whoop. I feel like we haven't been whooping recently. Have we?
We haven't. Whooping? No, we haven't been whooping.
No, we should be whooping.
Yeah, no, we're getting there. 55. That's
something.
It is something.
It's the age that you can take your pension.
I like that.
There we go.
Fun
Look
HR
at that
facts.
HR facts.
Yeah.
And this is the two of us.
Yeah, just the two of us. It hasn't been two of us for a couple of weeks now.
I've had fun with our guests, but
yeah.
I missed it.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to just being two of us again.
Yeah. So what have you been up to then? We haven't done that in a while as well.
It was my birthday.
It was your birthday.
It was my birthday. I wasn't really feeling too birthday this year. Like usually I do something, like I have people over or I do something to celebrate. Like I'm very like...
Can I just say actually, so I was out with a mutual friend for someone else's birthday and then we both went,
oh yeah,
it was like, isn't it Lola's birthday? And we were debating. We were even debating like, no, she would have said something by now. She would have told us what we're doing for her birthday by now.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah. So, but there was.
But this is the new me. New me is low key.
I love that for you.
I'm a low key babe. Yeah. So,
are you okay?
Huh?
Continue. Sorry,
I'm a low key babe.
Okay,
now. That's the rebrand.
All right.
So, I didn't do it. I didn't have like a thing, and then I was just ready to chill. I booked a massage on the day of my birthday, and that was it. And then my boyfriend was like, okay, I will do something, and I was just like, oh, do I need to dress up? He was like, no. He was like, no. So we went to we ended up going. He was like, oh, we're gonna eat. So we got to Farringdon, and then I don't know why yet, but like as we were walking past Tinseltown, I was like, imagine if this guy took
good
me.
Times.
Because I've been talking about it the day before. So back in the day, like when I was like 17,
so you go
like
Tinseltown,
you go Tinseltown, 24 hours, and I was like, oh my god. As I was walking past, I was like, imagine if this guy took me here, like we would have to break up.
Oh my gosh.
So. Anyway, it wasn't there. I went to a restaurant called Don Le Noir.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so I'd heard of it, but I've obviously never been. So basically, it's a restaurant where like it's pitch black and all the waiters and waitresses are blind. And like when I got inside, I was like, oh, maybe. I looked around. I looked at the menu. They confiscate anything that is light producing, so your phone, your watch, any loose items you have, they have to go in a locker. And no one had actually explained to me what it was because obviously it was a surprise. And I looked on the wall and they had like different like sign language things that you can learn. So I learned that this is pork, like a pig. I'm holding my fist up to my nose for those of you listening to audio. And I started to think, wait, if it is that restaurant where people are blind,
why would you need
sign language? So it just scrambled me a bit. But then we went upstairs, it definitely was that place. You pick a menu, meat and fish or vegan veg. And then when we went in, I was like, okay, so they introduced us to our waitress who I was like, okay, this person is, I think they're blind. And then so you basically have to hold the waitress's shoulder and go in, and then they show you to your table, but it's literally pitch black. And when I sat down, I basically started freaking out because they show you to chair, they put your hand on your chair, they explain to you on your table there's a cup and a water bottle. And I just started freaking out because basically I just think it was a delay between my brain understanding what was going on. In my life, I've never opened my eyes and seen pitch black. So I just started freaking out. I was like, so I was just doing this, like opening and closing my eyes, like waiting trying to find something to focus on, like some light, or there was nothing. So then I was like to my boyfriend, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, hold my hand. And I was like, if I close my eyes, I'll be fine. So I closed my eyes for like 30 seconds and I opened it. And it was all copacetic after that.
So how did you eat if you couldn't see?
So basically they bring the food to your table. They explain to you where the cutlery is and everything. So you just have to figure it out. So there's so much muscle memory. So I had a strategy. I touched my food a little bit. I just like gently patted it so I could get the lay of the land. My boyfriend just went in straight in with the cutlery, and I'm like, we're trying to figure out I was like, oh, there's cauliflower, that's lamb, that's this, that's that. Is this salmon? Or when we was eating, and I was like, oh, try the cauliflower with the lamb. He was like, how are you choosing what you're eating with what? I was like, touch the food. Touch the food. He was just eating like a savage.
So it's the purpose of the restaurant to like have the experience of a blind person?
I don't really know, but I think it is. I think it is something about like not leveling the playing field, but I think it is about having a little bit of like empathy.
Yeah.
Because obviously they are like chilling. Like obviously they know the restaurant well.
Mm-hmm.
They can't see, but obviously the fact that they can't see is not any more of a hindrance to them, and like it's so weird being so vulnerable and really relying on people. And they did all these things like just around accessibility, which you just don't think about. So it was quite eye-opening. Like every time our waitress came to the table, I think her name was Ayan, she was like, "Hi, it's Ayan again." So every time she came over, but then you don't think that if you're going up to a blind, I know I would go up to a blind person and probably just start speaking, because that's like, if I wasn't thinking, that's what I would do. But every time she came over to the table, she introduced herself. Like, "Hi, it's Ayan again. Hi, it's Ayan again." Just so, okay, obviously we're feeling very vulnerable. Like, we know who it is. Like, when she brought over the drinks, like, she was like, "Who ordered this? Who ordered that?" I'm thinking, how do you know? But then my boyfriend's drink had 2 straws. Mine had 1. So the people who made the food are not blind and drinks and stuff. But obviously they give it to them so that they can tell. So she's like, "Okay, this one has 2 straws. That's for you. This one has 1 straw. It's for me." And just little things like, you know, how do you pour water? So obviously I had to put my thumb in the top of the glass so I could see when it was at the right level. But just, it was really interesting. I don't know if it's for sure not the experience that a blind person has, but it was a little bit like, it was like a probably 0.001% of what people have to go through on a daily basis, or what it even feels like to not be able to do something that, you know what I mean, to rely on other people to do things. Yeah. So it was good. Wow. Yeah, and then I went to the Tomb Raider experience in Camden.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. I like escape rooms and stuff like that, but it's like the least serious escape room. It's like actors, and it's like a mission. It's like, imagine, do you know what it reminds me of? Fort Boyard.
Old school.
Yeah, it reminded me of Fort Boyard. But anyway, that was my birthday. It was really good. I had a great time.
That sounds cute.
Yeah, it was so cute. Like, I just had such a nice chill day. Had a massage. I got my hair did before. Like, it was just nice. Like, now I'm just...
You're here.
Yeah, I'm just here.
You're
so
here.
Low key birthday until I'm 35.
Until you're fair. Okay, fair enough.
Then we were flying out.
Okay, I hear it. I hear it.
What about you? What have you been up to?
I've been out a lot this week, so I'm tired.
Sorry, because I'm just remembering your story. Go on.
So yeah, I went out with my John Lewis girls that we met when we were like,
was it them?
17 or 18.
We've heard so much about John Lewis.
Yeah.
They listen to the podcast.
Some of them do. Yeah. Some of them do. They were all bridesmaids at my engagement. Like everyone. Yeah. So like we are all really close because it was like going to another college. Mm-hmm. But anyway, went out with them on Friday for drinks. Mm-hmm. Really good, catch up, hilarious. One of them left with a wine glass with wine still in the glass and got on the train with it.
I saw.
Love that for her.
Your story. And I just want, like, I was just clicking through and I saw all these shots and some drinks on the table. And then I clicked to see the next story and there was no next story. And I thought, yeah, this was the moment.
You know what? I thought it was going to be a wholesome night, you know. All 5 of us hadn't been together like that in a long time. It's always like 4 or 3. So I thought it's going to be, you know, a wholesome catch up.
No,
then I just saw one of my friends, like we'd been drinking like cocktails, but then I just saw one of my friends come over for shots. I was like, wait, she was like, "Oh, it's Casamigos. It's not that bad." I was like, "Nah,
it's what?
Nah. Casamigos.
What's that?"
It's a tequila, Mexican tequila. But yeah, and then Saturday, my little cousin, I took her out because she has graduated with a master's in architecture.
Love that for her. Congratulations, baby cousin. Cousin.
Our grandmas are sisters, so it's really cute that we are now like, you know,
cute next generation. Well, next generation.
And then I watched Barbie.
What did you think of Barbie?
I really liked it.
Same.
I really liked it.
I didn't even know what it was about.
I had an idea, but it was very clever.
It was. I wouldn't say it's for kids. If you take kids, the stuff will just go.
It's gonna go over their heads.
Yeah, but I think they'll be able to get enough to do a couple giggles and just be stimulated by the colors. But yeah, it was good. Like I didn't even know the plot. I just knew that the marketing had.
Yeah, it's reached 1 billion now at the box office. So
really?
Big up Greta for being one of the first and only solo female film directors to do that.
Yeah.
And it's the second film that Margot Robbie has been the main person in that has gone and made $1 billion at the box office. I'm not too sure what it's called actually, but I saw it today.
Because she was in this film. I doubt it's that one, but I just recently found out, because there's a true crime podcast that I love, and there's a figure skater called Tonya somebody, and she was in her biopic.
Oh, I'm not too sure.
So I don't think what the other one is.
Yeah.
But I liked it. It was very on the nose, I thought.
It's funny, like even being in HR and seeing like the play on some of the stuff, not to spoil it for anyone, but it's just hilarious.
Yeah, I loved it. And there's like they obviously dealing with real topics, but in a way which is like, it is a little bit slapstick at points, but in a way which is just like so absurd. It shows you the absurdity of how we live today.
Yeah, because it's like what they're saying is facts. It's not facts. Absurd. Like it's real.
Exactly. Do you know what? Go on. There is something else I wanted to talk to you about. When we was talking, I didn't add it in, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Surprise me. Go on, hit me.
No, we spoke about it, but I forgot to add it to this today. The chef in that restaurant who put together his staffing team. Yes. This is we're now into the world of HR.
Welcome. Yeah. It's been a while since we hit HR
exactly.
World.
We're going to give you the HR news. The reason that it made me think about that is one of the comments, which I'll explain. So basically, there was a chef, don't know his name, can't bother to look, who posted a picture of it's like a restaurant, basically. He was like, I've finally put together my team, my chefing team or whatever. And it was basically like, 10 white men? And then actually, I'm gonna find the comment. So basically, it was one of those Oscar so white moments, and everybody was like, are you not seeing this? Like, lol. Like, it was so obvious. Like, as soon as I saw
no women, no people
of color, like
no one differently able,
nothing. Okay, so his name is Thomas Straker, and the restaurant is called Strakers. And so he wrote chef team assembled, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 white men. Yeah. Pretty much the same man at different stages of life, right? But all kind of middle aged, or a couple young ones, yeah. So he put this post out, and then everybody was like, wow. And then everyone obviously started saying, this is so not diverse, blah, blah. And to which he responded, honestly, this is in the comments. Honestly, people need to calm down. Firstly, there's a shortage of chefs / hospitality workers. Secondly, if you feel so passionately, please go and gather CVs of any chefs you think were missing in the team. Solutions, not problems. Thank you. So, like, obviously, he just doubled down.
Can we confirm where his restaurant is?
His restaurant, let's find out. Trust me, I know it ain't in New Yorkshire. So let's see. It's in Goulburn Road. It's West London.
It's London.
Yeah.
Oh,
London.
fair enough. Shame on him then.
Yeah. So there's no excuse. Like, it's not like this is in I don't want to say arse end of nowhere, but it's not like it's in somewhere where people.
It's less diverse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But then even so, like, there's a lot of women who are also like.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Yeah, like, I understand like ethnic diversity. I can see it, but women.
Yeah, not one.
Do you know what I really hate about it? Like, women on earth and definitely in the West, everywhere, do the majority of the cooking in life in the world, everywhere.
But all the famous chefs are men, yeah.
And then the famous chefs that are women, what Delia, who had to sexualize herself.
Yeah, Nigella.
Yeah, not Delia, sorry. Yeah, Nigella.
You Delia Smith.
Delia, God. Nigella, who has to be like, ooh. Yes. That's so nice. She knows what she's doing. And then you've got Mary Berry. He has to go for the, like, you know.
Pick up Mary.
Yeah. She's gone for the wholesome grandma vibes now. But it's mad. And then there's just all these famous chefs who are men, but women are the ones who are doing the majority of the cooking all the time in life.
It's true.
It's just crazy. But anyway, he doubled down on it. And why I thought about it when we was talking about Barbie is because someone was like, okay, fine, when you're Mojo Dojo Casa Restaurant. Okay. And if you've watched Barbie, you'll understand. But it's literally giving that. It's giving...
That's funny.
It's giving Ken vibes.
Kudos to that person.
Mojo Dojo Casa Restaurant. But then after they pressed him, do you see what happened after?
No, what happened?
He released a statement. So obviously
he released a statement.
They cooked him. They cooked him like, they cooked him like fried rice boy. They cooked him like Michelin star food. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it now, but basically he said sorry in the story. And that was like literally 24 hours after. And then, don't know what's happened. I don't know if it's had any impact on the custom of his restaurant, but I'm always so surprised at how like people will literally double down until they feel like the bag is going to be affected. Like, he didn't care. He said, you do the work. He said, you go and find CVs.
I think that's half of the reason why people nowadays apologize, is because it will impact their work with brands and it will impact their business in different ways. And they just don't want that to be a thing. So that's why they apologize. But sometimes...
I'm going to find it. Go on, sorry.
Sometimes you shouldn't apologize, I think you should
only apologize if it's sincere. If it's not sincere, you just have to Here it is. You just have to.
That's not going to be the case though, because people are going to do it because it impacts how they work with brands and stuff.
Yeah, so, of course, but it's pathetic. And if you're gonna do it, it's a fake apology. And you're doing it because of the brands. Like, at least let it look sincere. Like, don't be rubbish by it. So he wrote, on Friday night, I put up a post of my chef team, and many rightly pointed out the lack of diversity within it. I am very sorry for my initial response, where some queried whether I take the issue seriously. I am absolutely committed to ensuring diversity in my restaurants. Unfortunately, we aren't achieving this in my kitchens currently, and this is an area I know I need to improve on. Making sure it is seen as a welcoming and approachable environment for all. Tom, kiss. So from when you said like problems, you're doing solutions, not problems, basically said that you don't care if there's CVs and people should do the work for you. Overnight, he made this change. Well, 3 days later, actually, he made this change, and now he's saying that he's absolutely committed to ensuring diversity in his restaurant. And I love the fact that he wrote, unfortunately, we aren't achieving this in my kitchens at the moment.
As if to say everywhere else is diverse.
And I'm sure they probably are. I'm sure you have waitresses. I'm so sure you do. I'm sure you have some ethnic minorities washing the dishes in the back. Like, I have no doubt. I don't doubt it. But he just wanted to say, there's some women, there's some people.
It's not that bad.
I just think the fake apologies, I'm so over them now. And the thing is, his audience probably doesn't care. Well, I think he maybe thought that his audience didn't care. And not guarantee. I'm sure most of the people who commented, they're probably weren't going to go anyway.
Yeah, it's just because it's come across there. Like, peripheral.
It might be about investors. It might be about all this other stuff. But it's just like every time, like, I live in an echo chamber and I know that, and I try to make sure that I don't. But stuff like this shows me that I really do, because I'm like, how in 2023 did you look at that and nothing crossed your mind?
It happens.
Nothing. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, so you looked at that and thought, oh, wow, yeah, this is my team, and you took a picture.
It's the norm.
I couldn't believe it. But yeah, so I don't know what's going on with him at the moment, or if it's affected his trade. I hope it has, to be honest.
I bet it hasn't. I bet it hasn't. Anyway, most restaurants fell in like their first X amount of time. So
I don't know if it's a new restaurant though. Maybe it is. It probably is if it's his first team.
Hopefully.
Or maybe that's a new restaurant in that location. I don't know.
Maybe.
But he didn't seem to care, and suddenly he cares. There was someone else like that on TikTok. It was like I got into the arts and crafts section of TikTok. Yeah, I don't know how. But, like that. Who's that? No, Chelsea and what's that? Come on now. Who's the other one?
Who's the other one?
Chelsea, come on now. Who was the other girl?
What, in the video with her?
The two girls that were saying they could
I
each other.
have no idea. I just took the sound and ran with it.
Oh my God. You don't know the story that happened?
I know the story, but I don't know their names.
Anyway, there was something else like that. This woman, she was like, she was a DIY person. Like, when you show people how to do what you're doing, the whole purpose is for them to copy. So she's like, this other creator keeps copying my designs. I did this color, I did that. There's my wallpaper, this wallpaper that I've created with this brand. And that's my wallpaper in her kitchen. Sis, you put it there for people to purchase. She purchased it. So she called out this creator, and the creator was like, I'm really sorry, but I just really like your work, and I'm very inspired by what you do, and I bought your wallpaper because I was supporting you. Like, and then, so it didn't land how she thought it was going to land, and she basically said, like, she refused to apologize. She doubled down like this guy. And then the company who she made the wallpaper with was like, yeah, you're basically bullying this girl and we don't stand for it. So all of your lines of wallpaper are being cut. And then the next day she issued an apology. And it was the worst apology I've ever seen, in terms of like, it was so beggy. She was like, that girl is so good. I should have never treated her like that. I really understand the error of my ways now. You have to compromise the bag, or they don't care.
That's weird, but I don't always agree, like I said. So some of you may have seen that Jamie Foxx issued an apology over the weekend. So basically, he put up a post and it said, if they can do it to Jesus, then they can do it to you. And he hashtagged fake friends, fake love, all of this stuff. Obviously, Jamie Foxx has had a recent health scare. So my personal assumption, looking at that and reading it, was he found a lot of snakes in the grass while he was going through his health scare.
Who really showed up for you? Yeah,
like maybe people who went to the press or people who tried to go to the press, etc.
Or who weren't even just there for you, like,
Yeah. So Jennifer Aniston. So if you don't know who that is, most famous for being Rachel from Friends, the sitcom. She liked the post.
Fine.
And then people called her out. So fans of hers called her out saying, oh, how can you like this post? It's anti-Semitic. Like, you
explain why they thought it was anti-Semitic, because I was lost.
So people thought it was anti-Semitic, first of all, because they're just dumb and have no comprehension, first of all. Yeah. But no, it's because he said they. So people
who did what to
Jesus, that the they that did what they did to Jesus was because they are Jewish. Yeah. Let's just ignore the fact that Jesus himself was a Jew, right? This makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Like, so anyway, so when Jennifer started being called out, she made a post saying, oh, I'm so sorry, it was an accident, I didn't mean to like it, I don't agree with anti-Semitic views and all of this stuff. And she basically threw Jamie Foxx under the bus, because no one would have really paid attention if she didn't like it and then do a post about it. Like,
and who was even saying, was it just her fans?
It's her fans, yeah. It's not Jamie's fans now had to go and rally. Like, they were riding for him and calling Jennifer all sorts of names on her on her story and her Instagram, because it just didn't make sense. But it just had me thinking about times where, you know, being from an original Londoner, because we've spoken about it before, where you go to the office and there's a lot of proud fake Londoners.
Yeah, from Balham.
Yeah, but they're really from somewhere up north, but they've lived in London for 10 years or 15 years or whatever.
I don't think you can convert to being a Londoner. It's like being Hindu.
Honestly, it's offensive.
You can't convert.
Like, if you weren't, that's why I make a point. I'm like, born and bred Londoner, St. Thomas Hospital. Yeah, what?
Real. Guys.
Hello.
Yeah, shout out.
Like, even though I was living in East London when I was pregnant with my son, I still travelled to St. Thomas to give birth.
They got a really good maternity.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. I said, no, I'm not doing it.
I got on a tour of that when I was on the NHS grad scheme.
Did you?
Yeah, the maternity ward really overlooks the
it does.
Yeah,
it does.
Look at the houses. It's a view.
Yeah. My partner got Vapianos for me after I gave birth.
Cute.
Because, local. Great delivery options if you want to give birth at St. Thomas. But anyway, so it just got me thinking about all the times when I was in school and people just misinterpret what you're saying because they're not,
they don't understand it.
Yeah, they're just not from that community, or they're just not from, whatever it is. Like, even as a Londoner, there's just certain, like on Love Island, I know we always bring it up, but it's the same thing. They're straight out of Compton. Listen to what they're actually saying. It's like Latin. Like, you can hear where it's derived from. Like, you'll understand if you just listen to what they're saying. And I just feel like, how do you use they, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Why did you think they was?
Do you think when she liked it, she thought it was anti-Semitic, or she just thought Jamie Foxx photo? She wasn't thinking. She just liked it.
Do you know what?
I just like things. I might not even be reading captions.
Some people's Instagram habits. I've seen some of my friends. They literally tap.
Velisa, if you post something, I'm not waiting to see what you hashtag. You could have said "fuck them," yeah, and I've already liked it because if you post it, I'm liking it, and that's the same for most of my friends.
I think that's possible. That
most of the people that I know, like,
just
that's a nice picture.
Yeah, I think she did just think, oh, my friend Jamie, let me like his post.
My friend.
But then don't backpedal on it.
Friends.
It's true, but don't backpedal on it. And now, like, he just had a recent health scare, and now, like, you're crying online just because you couldn't handle it.
Why didn't she could, because she literally could have just said, oh, that's not what I understood it to mean.
Literally, like, why? That's what I'm saying. Like, why did you have to go?
It's self-preservation.
It's horrible though. Like, why did you have to go?
Self-preservation.
Like, I love me a bit of Rachel Green. Like, I don't know. Like, it just rubbed me the wrong way, and it just had me thinking of, like, oh, when you kiss your teeth in school, and the teacher would act like you said, see you next Tuesday, and like send you out. It's like, you don't even know what this means. Like, you're just offended for no reason, but you don't actually get it. Like, I'm just irritated, It's like, so it's literally the same as tutting.
Yeah.
That's literally, kissing your teeth is the same as tutting, but one gets one reaction and one gets the other. Do you know what I mean? So Jennifer is just not in my
but I think it happens
my
a lot of
books.
time because you just don't understand, like, people's culture, or you don't understand like how we speak. African Americans have it as well with AAV.
Yeah, their vernacular. Yeah. Theirs is crazy though. Even me, I hear something, I'm like, yo.
But it's like a language, or is it a dialect? It's a dialect, isn't it? Like a dialect now, although lots of people don't recognize it. So AAV stands for African American Vernacular English, and that's all basically the way that a lot of black people speak in America, and it's been kind of like taken on by like popular culture, and everyone's like, no, this is not for you to have. It's literally our dialect.
Yeah, so like even like someone like Whitney going, it's given. It's being taken from them. Like it's not a UK thing.
Yeah.
It's been made one.
There was something that they said in Love Island. What was it? Yeah, we spoke about it before. Do you know what they was talking a lot of moving mad? When they said moving, when I hear it, I'm like, now this is like it's
they've
mainstream.
Taken it out of context.
No, but I actually think some of them used it in the right context, but it's like that's mainstream now. Do you remember we spoke about it like last year? We were talking about how we like telling our colleagues and stuff.
Next season it will be tapped.
Yeah, that's tapped.
They'll start saying
like 5 years later. Don't catch up. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I think it happens. It happens in the workplace as well. Someone might say something and you'd be like, that's so offensive. It's like, it's not offensive. No, it's not. We've spoken about it like, oh, I can't come and kill myself. It's I'm really not trying to trigger anybody. It's just literally how dramatic like Africans can be. Yeah. But I don't appreciate that from Jennifer.
No.
But it's very online. It's very quite in line with her brand, I can't lie. And the people that are her fans. Like she is not to say she is a Karen herself, but there's lots of Karens that will look up to her as somebody.
People started saying, this is why Brad went to Angelina.
I knew that. I was going to ask you, whenever Jennifer does something like, that's probably what she was trying to avoid, because the way they slander her, what I don't appreciate about Jennifer Aniston is the way people like, whenever it comes, there's some misogyny there all the time when
they bring up Brad and Angelina.
Just in general, they just make it seem like Jennifer Aniston is one of the people I remember from the beginning. It was like, why are you not married? Why are you not married? Why are you single? Why are you single?
Yeah, that's true. Why don't you have kids?
It's
true.
You know,
her and Julia Roberts.
Yeah, how the worst thing in the world was to be like single and unmarried or childless or whatever. Like she was the poster girl for that. And I remember back in the day when it was like all the magazines, they would just forever talk about why she's single and who she's dating, and you know how sad it was that she had nobody, and like it's mad.
Speaking of, actually, I'm going a bit left now, but I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and like, because of the age that this is like a crossover episode now, but because of the age we're at now, she was saying that sometimes in the workplace, a lot of the time in the workplace, people are constantly referring to a partner or a child or children or some form of event like an engagement or wedding, except whatever it is, and they're starting to feel a little bit left out, because it's one thing to be at a certain space in your career, but now it seems like a lot of the camaraderie and community comes from people, saying, oh, how's Jim? And everyone knows who Jim is and all of that stuff, which I found quite interesting.
I had something like that, like when I was, I think when I left my last permanent job, there was like a Christmas dinner that they were going to have, or end of year, or some sort of SLT dinner. I don't think it was Christmas, and I had a boyfriend, but very early stages, and I was not going to bring him. Respectfully. Obviously I would bring him now, but I wasn't going to bring him then. And I just felt like I don't want to go and be by myself. Do you know what I mean? Because everybody was like, this person's coming with their wife, that person's coming with their husband, that person's coming with their partner, this person's coming with this person. I was like, number one, I don't want to go and be by myself. I also don't want to go and subject the person I actually like to being here. And it was just like, I felt so like, I didn't go in the end, because I just,
oh really?
Yeah, I didn't go because I didn't want to be honest. I was working my notice anyway, and I just couldn't be bothered, and I was just like, I would feel left out, and I don't want to have to force, like there was the not having to force it, but then also like I'll be alone, and I'll be the only one. I would have been the only one who was alone. So I was like, I do think there's something there in terms of like feeling left out of those kind of things, and especially when you're a woman and you get to a certain age, and it's like about having kids, and people will ask you as well, like when they meet you, oh, do you have kids, like stuff like that, and it's like it's nothing malicious about it, but it definitely comes from a place of like they're hoping that you say yes, so that they can be like, oh, how many, how old are they, blah 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 blah, and if you don't, it's like no, they'll be like, oh, okay. I'll be like, do you? They'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, oh, no, ask my questions. But do you know what I mean? Like, I'm quite comfortable with the fact that, like, I don't have children at the moment. I would like to in the future. But if you're someone, number one, who doesn't or doesn't want to, like, it can just be really awkward. It's kind of like the expectation of this time of life, I think.
I'm not going to lie. Even though I have a child, I love my child dearly. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to talk about my child like, I just feel people do it too much, which is why I then understand why some people feel excluded or left out, because why is every other sentence about your child or your partner? Like, stop.
What I do like now is that I feel like in that space,
like, sorry, because like people, you'll ask someone, oh, did you watch this on Netflix? Yeah, we did. No,
like,
I'm asking you. Did you? Why are you bringing your man or your woman or whoever into this?
The kids.
Like, drop them out.
Yeah. But the thing is, that's what brings people joy. Do you know what I mean? It's their family. Talk about their family.
I get it, but you're also your own person.
Yeah.
And I feel like
some people, everyone is, but some people, they actually like, they aren't. Because even me, I can do my man at the best of times, in it, but only when it's appropriate. You get what I mean? Only when it's appropriate. So I get it. But what I like now is that pet culture is on the rise.
It is on the rise.
So sometimes, people, you could be like, oh, and they'll be like, oh, here's my dog. Oh, I don't have to, but here's my dog.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I actually rather talk, I think pets are actually more inclusive. It's more to be like, oh, do you have a dog? Because if you don't have a dog, it's like, okay, I don't have a dog, but here's my dog.
But I do think the same way people are, it's not the same, but I feel like the same way that people are trying to be more cognizant of pronouns or trying to be, more inclusive of race or whatever it is, or gender, you should also be inclusive of the fact that some people are single.
Yeah.
Some people want to be single. Some people don't, and they haven't found that person, and you don't need to be stressing. My man. Thank you to my man every single.
I'm good.
Literally, you don't have to do that every 2 seconds. And I feel like it's part of that being mindful. Like, I joke, but say I. Don't say don't. Like, it's not we, because I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Like, because when you ask me the same, well, not me personally, but when you ask the other person the same question, it's going to be about them. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying don't ask about family. It's not like but just, I feel like
have one-on-one.
Yeah, it was an interesting conversation, because I had never thought about it in the workplace before.
It definitely happens with some people, like when it comes to kids or being single or whatever. Some people just don't want, like, some people don't want to have kids, and some people don't want to be in a relationship. And I think it's the expectation. But sometimes I forget, like, how far we have come. Not saying that it's good enough, but again, I'm going to shout out the podcast. Yeah, I'm so in love with a podcast called Red Handed. It's a true crime podcast. So if you love true crime, you'd love it. It's British. It's 2 women, white woman and Asian woman, Shruti and Hannah. And I just love them. I love everything they do. So, but I was listening to a podcast today about something quite dark. So we don't have to talk about that. But we spoke about women's rights in Ireland. And in Ireland, contraception was illegal for a long time. It was only, I think, 1996.
Really?
When it become, like, for unmarried people, I mean.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's late.
Because obviously Catholic Church, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
but,
wow.
And up until now, if you were unmarried woman and you had a child, unless it was something like abuse or whatever, you was basically sent to these, like, laundry places where you would work for free.
Oh, wow.
With you and your baby end up in an orphanage or with you, and you would basically wash clothes in basically legalized slavery, and they didn't abolish that until 1996.
That's crazy.
And like a lot of women would, and obviously there was no abortion, and they had the referendum in 2017 to change that, but there was no abortion, so you basically got pregnant. That's it. No contraception. So if you do get pregnant, like obviously don't have sex, and if you do have sex, well, then your life is over. And there were basically people that died because
they tried to do stuff themselves.
They tried to do stuff to themselves, or they didn't seek medical care, or they would just they would literally rather go through all of that. So sometimes I feel like, even imagine 1996, even obviously in Ireland it's a bit different, but even the stigma, people, there's an assumption of this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, by a certain age, be married, having kids, talking less of being in your early 30s and being single for some people. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes I think we forget how, and even in the UK they had that, was it in the 50s or the 60s where they had something similar where you would go to these mother and baby places. So sometimes I think we forget, like, it wasn't actually that long ago that the assumption was you should marry. And obviously those of us from West
definitely.
Africa,
I watch Long Lost Family, and like, do you know Long Lost Family?
Is that the BBC? Now I'm thinking, who do you think you are?
ITV with Davina McCall.
Oh yeah, I remember. Isn't that quite old?
Oh, it's a new season.
And it's been going for a long time.
Yeah,
where they reunite, like,
but even then, the story's always like, you know, I was married, or I was married to someone else, and and the child is literally someone in like their 50s. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, it's not that long ago then.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I think we've come so far, but then some of that stuff just still lingers with us. Like, if you meet someone at work, I know that I'm guilty of it sometimes. If I meet a woman at work, and
I never ask if they have children.
I would never ask. Yeah. But if I find out that, like, you're in your like mid to late 40s, I realized that I probably would have assumed that you had children. Maybe not married, but in my head I assume. So when I find out you don't, I still have that surprise. I'm not necessarily vocalizing that, but I'm having to like self-correct myself to be like, oh wait, you don't have kids. Oh, okay, well, you shouldn't have kids. Like, but in my head I'm thinking, oh, shouldn't have kids. Like, I don't know. It's even for me, and I feel like I would hope I'd be a bit more awake than that.
You're more curious.
Yeah. But I still find myself being shocked. I'm like, why am I shocked? But that's like, I think that's just
society.
Yeah, and how I am. Like, even now, I was telling someone, like, if I was to get pregnant now, I see myself so in such a different way. Like, it would legit feel like a teenage pregnancy.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's how it felt for me.
Like a teenage pregnancy. Yeah. Like, who let me do this?
I was 29 and it felt like a teenage pregnancy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Even when I find out, like, my friends are pregnant now, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, wait, you're grown.
Literally. But yeah, it was just an interesting thought that just popped in my head just now.
Yeah. What else been happening? I think there was something else you want to talk about.
It's funny to me anyway. Zoom. We all get on our Zoom, you know. Zoom really, made its mark during lockdown because people were working from home.
Facilitating.
Zoom were literally one of the big boys facilitating working from home. And that same company that we're all using now on our work from home days has said, you man, back to the office.
That is crazy to me. That's actually crazy to me.
Yeah, they said if you have a local office near you, you need to start going. So even though we are the inventors,
I would move.
Like, how
I'd
can
move.
They should be the biggest advocate for
That's crazy.
Working from home 24/7.
Are they in financial difficulty? Are they not doing as well right now?
Well, they did make some cuts. But then I feel like even if people have gone back to the office, they're still not going to necessarily delete like a Zoom subscription because there'll still be times when you need
and
it.
Also not everyone will be back in the office at the same time. We'll always still
there'll still be
maybe Microsoft is taking.
I was just
going to
say maybe Teams are doing
because
more.
a lot of people, like, even in the company I was in before, they had Microsoft.
I don't like Teams,
but they weren't using it. I love Teams. I love anyway.
I'm not a fan of it.
I don't want to give too much, but I love Microsoft as a suite. Office 365 is my bag.
Yeah, I love that, but I'm just not the biggest fan of Teams.
Why?
I prefer Zoom,
Yeah, but you got a tech background. You guys like ridiculous things like Google Hangouts and Zoom, and
I do like Google Hangouts.
I think that is the worst thing ever. It's actually the worst. Like, Google as something to use to work is insane. Like, have you ever used Google Sheets?
Yeah, I like Google Sheets.
I'm judging you.
Are you?
Google Sheets, all of that. Like, it's just
calm.
Anyway, it's accessible. It's accessible. Everyone got a Gmail account, so it's accessible. But no. But yeah, that's shocking.
Yeah, so now I just think like their stocks deserve to crumble because why are you now? It's just going to be like, if Zoom are telling people to come back, then why the hell are we
the people who are making the thing that is enabling us?
Yeah, but then it's kind of linked to something we mentioned very briefly when Sarah was on about flexible working, how they've changed it now so that you can apply for it from day one. And I would love to see statistics actually on how many people will now going forward actually just say, regardless of what your hybrid working is, this is what I want to do. From day one, I would say very few. You think so?
People are so scared. Like, we still live in an age where like people are scared to ask for the maternity policy before they start. So, and there was debating whether it should need to be published for companies over a certain size.
I think it should be.
But I can't remember what happened with that because that was a while ago. Maybe it's past, maybe it hasn't now. I'll find out and I'll update you guys. But like, people are not going to just get a new job and be asking in their probation period, come on. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Like, maybe after.
But people who have been in their job a while.
Yeah, they will.
Who, like, you know, they were working from home. Now your office is saying, well, actually, we want you in 4 days a week. Like, they should be the ones saying, like, no, I'm going to apply for it.
One of my friends, she worked at a company. She works at a company in West London, like Hammersmith. And she, during COVID, they obviously went remote. And then she bought a home in basically in like Essex, like, and then so obviously it was crazy for her. So when they started calling people back to the office, she applied to be fully remote, and they just said yes. And they have done like, her job was fully remote, and also she's retraining, so she wanted to do some stuff with data. They've helped her, and she's been doing it over a couple of years. So they've retained her, they've given her some support in doing that. And there's a part of the business where she will, like, now she's learned it, she's going to be moving over to. And she's just like, I will never leave this company. Because they've literally been flexible for her. They've allowed her to live where she wants to live, and still kind of put their arms around her. And they've helped her to grow her career in different directions. She's like, I'll never leave. She's like, there's no reason for me to leave this company. I like it here. I do good work. I'm motivated. During the hours that I'm supposed to be at work, I do good work. After that, she said she'll never leave. And I love that for her. Like, that's what they need to understand. Like, do people understand that, like, or companies, that people will just resign? Yeah. A lot of people will resign if you do too much. Remember that when Elon Musk announced the Tesla thing? I saw people on LinkedIn like, hi guys, I'm looking for a new job due to this new announcement. Yeah,
even one of my friend's mums, they just announced that they want them in 4 days a week, and they've received a bunch of resignations already.
As you would.
Yeah, because what are you on?
4 days. You know how tired you'll be after 4 days. If you're going on 4 days, there has to be a transition.
Yeah. You can't just tell me 4 days.
For the first year, 2 days. Second year, like, there has to be some grandfathering or something.
4 days.
You'll be knackered.
That's too much. Full, like, morning till evening.
That's sick.
Nah, 4 days. I think it's too much.
If you're making me come in 4 days, I'm working 4 days. It's a 4-day working week.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, if it's a 4-day working week, fair enough. What happened to that? What happened to the trials?
It's some companies have extended it. The government said we didn't.
They're so miserable.
This our government, yeah. The government was like, miserable. We don't think you guys should extend it or something like that. And then people were like, no, we're extending it anyway. We like it. It's working for us.
Good.
This useless government.
Miserable, because right now we should have a 4-day week. There's no reason why we can't have a 4.
Absolutely no reason.
The productivity on a Friday, statistics show that by, I think it's 1:30 p.m, like, majority of employees have shut down and they're not really doing any work after that on average. So why are you making me work on this? Like,
I reckon they can do a 4-day working week. So some people would have Mondays off, some people have Fridays off.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, that works.
I would love that.
Yeah, Mondays off would be great.
Anyway, we persevere, shall. We hope it happens in the end. I think, is there one more thing?
Tattoo.
Oh, yeah. So there was a video that we both saw. I saw it on Twitter, but it was on TikTok or X now. It's X now, isn't it?
Horrible.
X. I saw it on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. And it was basically this woman, she was saying that she had this job interview, she didn't get it, and she thinks it's to do with her appearance. And specifically, I'd say the tattoo. She has a very, like, half of her face, but 2/3 of her face is covered in a tattoo. I think just to up to the bottom of her nose and above her lip is covered in a tattoo. And then people were kind of weighing in online about what they thought about it, if it was fair. I think the vast majority of people were like, they wouldn't hire her or them, I think. And people were like, it shows that you have bad decision making, like certain
out of control.
It is out of control. Yeah, so it literally shows, let me see. So it's literally up to her nose. I don't know, is that some sort of tribal thing?
I don't think so.
I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but basically she said it was to do with her appearance. And everyone was like, yeah, it probably is, because obviously you make bad decisions. And people were like, if you get that kind of tattoo, you just have to accept that you're working for yourself. And what do you think about that? Do you think that we're now at the place where we shouldn't even be having to have this conversation. If someone's tattooed their face, it doesn't make them any less of a...
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Like,
and it's not a couple, it's not just to let me see again so I can describe.
Sorry.
Hey guys, update. I didn't get the job. I just got the email. I'm guessing my appearance had a lot to do with it.
So
it might not have been her appearance, to be fair.
That is also an assumption.
Yeah, that is an assumption. It might have been that she wasn't the right person for the job, but she'll never know with that tattoo on her face whether it's...
I'm actually going to put a picture in. I always say that, but I will put a picture in.
Yeah, we're never going to know if it's genuinely because of her appearance or she just wasn't the right person for the role she went for.
Yeah.
Like, she'll never know.
I do think that, like, even now, in today's... where we are today, if you have that sort of tattoo, you are working for yourself, or you have to be an artist of a sort. That's where you can get away with it.
Some form of creative. Yeah,
you have to be a creator, an artist. It's someone who works in a tattoo shop.
Yeah. Do you know, I feel like...
It's not... we're not talking about Lil Wayne teardrops, little crossing your face. Little, like,
she's
it's
covered.
literally... Yeah, but looking again, 75% of her face, basically everything except her mouth and around is covered in a singular tattoo.
I think... surely, like, if she was, I don't know, an engineer or a designer, or they would just leave her to it. I think even if it's not relevant to your job, I just think people don't like it. They just think you'll make bad decisions, or they don't want to. There is something around, do you want to look at this person every day? Like, that's what it is, and that's definitely wrong. But it's not even about scaring customers or people feeling a way about it. It's like the people hiring you, they themselves don't want to see it, and that's the reality. It's the same way that we all think, like there's so many layers to it, but it's not just for specific jobs. Like, most jobs, if you have a face tattoo, it doesn't matter. If you're going to be some sort of customer facing, but most people are actually not. Like, there's no reason that person can't do admin in the office. There's no reason that person can't work in B&Q, stacking shelves at the back, not in the front. But there's no reason that this person couldn't do all those things. It's just because people don't want to hire someone that looks like that. People think it's unpleasant to look at. Like, it's so unfortunate. Someone said that there's a pretty privilege element. If you had like 3/4 of your face covered and you were an absolute smoke show, you'd be better off. And this, like, I'm not saying it's, well, I mean, I don't think by standards that she would be, but like, if you were like, let's say Molly Marsh from Love Island got 3/4 of her face tattooed, obviously she's still not gonna hit the same, but she'd probably be more likely to be getting opportunities. And like, it's just so much, people just don't want to look at it. So many layers. So many layers.
Imagine if she didn't get a job because she was just terrible interview.
That's what I think. I think even how she says, "Oh, I'm guessing it has something to do with my appearance." Know that. Like, it just sounds a bit.
For all you know, they could have already been on your LinkedIn and looked at you and thought, "Oh, cool, come. Oh, what a creative."
Yeah, like, I feel like we need more. Like, how do we know you were qualified for the job?
Yeah. Like,
how do we know that? How do we know that you're the fit for that company? What they were looking for? That your skills are up to scratch. We don't know that it's because of
wait, hold on. Let's wait. Are we doing what people do? Like, you know, when people are like, oh, obviously she's experienced it before, so she probably does know it feels like, you know, when we're like, oh, no, that was racism, and you're like, they didn't call you the N-word. Are we doing that?
Do you know what it is? Like, I've seen people with very like covered in tattoos and have jobs, like, even on their face, maybe not like that to that extreme. I've never seen anything, but I've seen them quite covered. Like, so I'm just thinking.
I actually have never seen anything like that, and I think it actually makes a difference if we can see your skin or not. We cannot see the skin on 75% of her face. I really think if you've got literally a face, neck, body full of tattoos. But then,
sorry, why would you tattoo your face if you know you're someone that still wants to work in the corporate world?
This is the question, isn't it?
Like, I want to know when she did it. Like, what was her timing?
But you never know. She might have been doing something else. She might have been in a band.
Oh, come on.
We don't know what she did. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't have the backstory. But when you tattooed your face like that, on God, you were not thinking about employment.
At all. I know people who, like, only got tattoos above, like, their forearm so they could still roll up their shirt at work and not show tattoos.
I think that's so old school, though. I really think right now, even if you have a tattoo anywhere, I think neck tattoos are still pushing it, and maybe tattoos on the back of your hand. But I think anything, I think
so.
On the back of your hand, yeah, or your knuckles, anything that is giving gangster vibes, I don't like that. Like, I think that's a bit much. But I think anything else, like even if you had a full sleeve up to your wrist, I think tattoos they've been accepted now in most things, and also just wear a long shirt. I don't think I have worked a place where people didn't have tattoos.
No. Do you have a tattoo?
No, I don't. I really like tattoos on other people.
Same.
I'm trying to get my boyfriend to get a sleeve.
You're not serious.
He doesn't have one tattoo.
You're not serious.
And I said, get a sleeve.
You're very not serious.
Do you not like tattoos? Have you got one?
I do like tattoos, but I don't have any, no. I'm a piercing girl.
Yeah, I'm really trying to get it. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated, but I think you'll get it.
You're not serious. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I wish her all the best. Hopefully there's a company that's like opportunist and like will hire you.
She's not selling herself though. Like the even the small clip of the video, I don't want to say victim, that's not the right word, but even the small clip, it's not giving anything. It's just giving.
It's the video that made me think, how do we know you were right?
Yeah, like, I guess it's. I'm assuming.
Yeah, like if she came with some next Vim, then it would be different. Yeah, if she came and
said, you know, I didn't get the job, but it's fine. I know my worth. I can do X, Y, Z, A,
That's
B,
different.
C. I think okay.
But then are we asking her to prove herself?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Because you came on the internet. Like, I'm sorry, if you come on the internet, you open yourself up to scrutiny.
Fair enough.
You do.
Fair enough.
You could have just said it to your friends.
That's true. She knew what she was doing though.
Exactly. I said the last thing I saw. It reminded me of you know, it's Edinburgh Festival now.
Oh, the AI comedians.
No.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
It was this lady. I can't remember what her name was again, but she.
Oh, the person who had one person.
Yeah. Turn up. She basically she's a comedian, actress, and writer, and then she did a show at Edinburgh Festival. My understanding is the comedians at Edinburgh Festival, they put on their own shows at their own expense, and they have to sell tickets to recoup the cost and blah blah. So she did a first show, which she's been obviously marketing and stuff like that, and one person showed up in the audience. She did the show for the one person. She's a better person than me. Because if one person showed up to my show, on God, that's cancelled. I'll take it to dinner, but on God, the show is cancelled. Anyway, she did the show for the one person, and she came online for whatever reason, but she came online to say, oh, one person showed up to my show. She looks very sad. I think she had some wet eyes. You know, it was giving crying CEO. And then she was like, one person showed up to my show. That's okay, isn't it? Like, oh, I feel so disappointed, blah, blah. And then all these comedians, bless them, they all started saying, oh, it's a rite of passage. You know, we've all been there. You know, I've done this, my first show that, my first show this. And I thought it was like quite nice, but also like, God, why do we have to go through the same things all over again? Like I've assumed that her next show will be,
100%,
because he went viral. These comedians are putting on it. But I was like, I feel like it's quite nice to share like your story with other people. Yeah. Like if you've been through it, do you know what I mean? Like it's always nice to hear like in whatever field of work you're in, it's nice to hear from those before you.
Yeah,
You're not doing it wrong.
That's true.
Like I know that's always been really helpful to me when I've really messed my favorite thing is when I've messed something up, and then someone comes and tells me how they've done a bigger mistake in the past, a bigger mess up. I love that.
Yeah, it makes you feel better.
It makes you feel so much better when I know that you that's more senior and more successful than me,
done that.
You've done it worse.
I agree.
But yeah, cool. I think that's it.
Yeah, there was a lot jam packed.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. All the normal stuff.
Yeah. That's a wrap, guys.
Bye.
Bye.